Shalom. I want to begin first and foremost, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father Yahweh and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jehovah and Jesus. I want to give all praises in the ancient Hebrew tongue while facing the east. Call halal, la, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, the water, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, to the elders of Yasharala, Greatmillstone. Shalom to the 144,000. Shalom to the elect. My name is Micah, and today I want to talk about uh, a Gog, right, of Magog, right, these Russians. All right, 2 Ezra 16, verse 33, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, and these wars that are coming up, Salakia, in this war that's coming up, this is World War III. I mean, you're gonna have multiple wars around different fronts, but it's just one big war, really. It's gonna be. All right, everybody that goes off to fight in that war, they're gonna die. All right, they're gonna be completely destroyed. All right, and the Lord is moving these chess pieces, man. All right, Putin begins biggest Russian military call-up in years. President Vladimir Putin has called up 160,000 men aged 18 to 30, Russia's highest number of conscripts since 2011, as the country moves to expand the size of its military. And all those men are going to die, all right? But seeing, how he's calling up that many men, all right, all their enemies are going to do the same thing, all right? There ain't just going to be a draft in Russia. That's basically a draft in Russia, all right, for all men ages 18 to 30. There's going to be a draft in America too. All right, and I think a year or two ago, I had a dream where I was caught up in the draft. All right, I was coming out of work, and the military, they were slick about it. All right, they were catching people coming out of work. All right, they weren't going to people's houses. At least as far as I knew in the dream, they weren't going to people's houses. They were catching them out coming from work. All right, that way, they killed several birds with one stone. All right, they parked the bus. All right, it was a military, like a guard with a rifle and everything, and then the driver, he was military too. It was just they were in pairs on each bus. They were parked right in front of companies, man, businesses, right when the business hours ended. All right, like around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. People getting out of work. All right, and everybody was clocking out, thinking they were going home. Shit, man, they were going to war. All right, and in that dream, which I believe, I was seeing it through somebody else's eyes, because the Lord will sometimes have you have dreams where it's something that's not necessarily going to happen to you, but you may experience something from somebody else's eyes. When a dream, I got on a bus, man, and immediately I started praying to Yahweh Bashimashai to deliver me from that. Next thing you know, right before we cross a bridge, all right, the Lord causes a distraction. Right, he causes some kind of fight to break out, some commotion on the bridge, and it got so big that the driver had to stop the bus, and he had to get out, and then the guard too had to get out. All right, but they left the door open, Yeah, when that happened, man, I immediately knew, man, that was the Lord answering my prayers, man. All right, and I was the only one who got up and left. All right, everybody else was so scared. They just stayed in there, man. All right, but I bounced, man. I took my ass home. All right. Hey, and the Lord, hey, who never, he always create a way for you to escape. All right, if you truly with him. But I could definitely imagine, Esau doing that in real life, man. All right. Drafting people, picking people up, coming out of work, going to work. Where a lot of people congregate. They might wait for people coming out of a football game, a whole bunch of people at once, just coming out the stadium. All right, all the men, hey, this is the last Super Bowl. All you men, y'all gotta get on the bus. That's crazy, man. All right, but I'm gonna get that, man. That's prophecy. All right, Joel 3, starting at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right, that's what Putin is doing. All right, the Lord is causing Putin to draw all those men of war near. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, to the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened, and come out to the valley of Yehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's what that means, all right? Yehoshaphat means the judgment from the Lord's judgment. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right, because those nuclear missiles are going to go out. All right, and that's really the ultimate. That's like the ultimate purpose of Yahweh Bashem El Shai doing this. All right, just bring all these soldiers together into one place and get rid of all of them at once. All right, and ultimately, the Lord is going to gather all these armies. All right, Russia, China, whatever. He's going to have a march against Israel. All right, come up against Israel. All right, and the Lord is going to destroy them all completely. All right, but not before, these countries all fire off their nuclear missiles. Russia, China, Babylon, Slovakia, Russia, China, the beast, all right, which is the EU. Not before they fire off their missiles, to Babylon. All right, and Babylon, aka America, is going to be completely destroyed. All right, so that's really the purpose, man, of all this. That's that's the last prophecy, all right? America's nuclear destruction. All right before the Lord comes and gets his elect to have them exempt from that destruction. All right, just like Noah and his family were exempt from the first death, all right, which was the flood. All right, the Lord is going to have his people exempt from the second death, which is that nuclear destruction, all right, the lake of fire. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope the video was edifying. Shalom.